Welcome once again to what has become the international home of boxing, Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And you heard me say it earlier, this is the fight card of the year. And I believe the proof is in the pudding, as we say in the United States. The 8 fighters featured on our main card have a combined record of 193 wins, only 3 losses, with 137 knockouts. Truly incredible numbers, and we're all expecting an incredible night this Saturday. Let's turn it over first now to the CEO of Ring Magazine, Rick Reno. Rick, we've basically got 2 main events here on the dais right now, do we not?
These are 2 absolutely smashing fights. I mean, in the first contest, when Devin went up to the welterweight division, Devin has a big enough name that he could have picked anybody to fight. But he wanted the smoke. He wanted the guy that nobody wanted to fight. He wanted to go against one of the most dangerous punchers in the weight division, another undefeated guy in WBO world champion, Brian Norman Jr. A lot of people view this fight as speed versus power. But, Brian's made it clear that he's bringing a lot more than power to this fight, and Devin's made it clear that he's bringing a lot more than speed. Absolutely intriguing contest, and you have varying opinions, and that's when you have a good fight, when there's varying opinions on who might come out on top. And the main event, when you have 2 guys who are called the Mexican Monster and the Beast, you can't go wrong in that fight. An absolute tear-up. Both guys are coming for war. David's never been in a bad fight. Anthony's never been in a bad fight. This is one of those contests where don't take a bathroom break. Don't walk away from your seat. Don't blink. It could be dynamite from the first round on. Both guys are coming for war. It's going to be one unbelievable event with fight after fight after fight. You got multiple fights on this card that could have headlined on their own, individually, anywhere, and we're getting it all one night, exclusively on DAZN this Saturday in Riyadh, and I'll turn it back to you, Todd.
Thank you, Rick. Let's now turn our attention to the promoter for Brian Norman Jr., Mr. Carl Moretti, the Vice President of Top Rank. Carl, you've known about this fighter for a long time. He might be the best kept secret in boxing. What makes Brian Norman so special?
Well, Saturday night you'll see why for sure. But, I really can't wait for this show. I can't wait for this fight. I can't wait for social media. I've never seen so many experts in my life come out and tell Devin what to do and tell Brian what to do, and then see what they say after the fight, because they're all going to be wrong. It's one of the, it's the best fight in the welterweight division. Whoever wins this, I can't wait to see who doesn't call out the winner. But, it's been a trip the whole time. We're very confident in what Brian Norman can do. Bill Haney's been selling this fight from start to finish. He's a trip, man. He's one of a kind. He kind of reminds me of the captain of the Titanic who's bragging that he saw the iceberg. Well, Brian Norman's the iceberg, and we know how that worked out for everybody. So we can't wait for the bell to ring Saturday night.
All right, let's bring in Brian Norman Jr.'s trainer, his father, Brian Norman Sr. We expect the fight to be outstanding in the ring, but outside of the ring, the buildup has been just as exciting, especially the back and forth between you and Bill Haney. You guys were going at it just a few minutes ago. You said your son's going to knock out Devin in the ring, and you've already knocked out Bill Haney verbally. Why is there so much animosity between you two?
Listen, first of all, I know Carl may not know or keep up with everything, but Bill been missing. Everybody know he been missing. You understand what I'm saying? Bill was missing for 2 months. Bill will come back, he'll get beat up, he'll go away again. Bill come back, he say he locked in, Man, you're looking for excuses. We're not worried about that. You understand what I'm saying? Brian Norman Jr., it's time for him to show who he really is. Devin Haney is the perfect opponent to show who he really is. We know his accolades. We know all of his, everything that he's achieved or whatever else. I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to beat, and I think he's tailor-made for Brian Norman Jr. to become a star. I think this whole situation, the table is set, and all Brian Norman Jr. got to do is go eat. That's it.
All right, let's let Bill Haney have the mic now. I'm sure you have plenty to say about Brian Norman Sr. and Brian Norman Jr.
Well, first, I want to thank Allah for this opportunity. It's been quite a journey, and I'm going to ask for all the patience in him to give me to not just go in on that clown over there. You dig what I'm saying? But first, let me acknowledge the star-studded cast, both on the stage right now and those that's behind the stage to make this thing happen. I've had quite some mentors in this business. I see Jay over there, you know what I mean, with Abdullah Mason, a tremendous talent who's fighting for a championship, something that dreams are made of. He comes from a great family of boys and men that's been standing on business, and now they have their opportunity. Of course, you got the Benavidezes who paved the way and trailblazed the way for guys like us to be independent. He started at like 16, 17, and I've been tapped in with Benavidez from the beginning. And you got Tunde. That's right, brother. He fought to be up on this stage. His name wasn't up on here, but he represents this shit. And the clown over there, you dig what I'm saying? He came for the show, but he's going to get his in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So Tunde and Anthony Yarde, I knew them from coming to the Mayweather gym across the pond, and Tunde learning the game from Floyd and them and putting it down. So to see them on the stage and them two families getting a bunch of money means a whole lot to me. Reno, you know, you speak for yourself, and what he's doing in boxing behind the scenes with Turki Al-Sheikh, and giving us the opportunity. The one thing, when I met Turki, I said, listen, I don't know what everybody else got to say to you, but I need to tell you we've been getting robbed. And I said, listen, if you work with my son, you're going to see someone that's standing on business and willing to make all the sacrifices to be the kind of fighter that you want backing up Riyadh season. So here we are. They have a great relationship. That Devin is standing on business, just like Reno said, and it didn't matter who it was. You know what I mean? We wanted the opportunity to be here, and we want the max money. You know what I mean? That's what this business is about. Because taking punches, you know, there comes a time when you have to rely on what you've invested in and made happen. You know what I mean? So now, with that, let me get to the clown over there. Now, Devin has fought 3 champions to become the fighter that he is. We went across the pond to Australia and they said that I couldn't come, and he said, well, Dad, I'm going to bring the belt back. That was one of the most impressive times in my life that this man had did, and I knew that he was full grown and on his own. We came back to the 140-pound division and fought Regis Prograis, someone that no one wanted to fight because, I mean, he was the Rougarou, okay? And then after everybody assassinated him and said, well, the left hook, the clown's son, tremendous fighter, put a guy in a coma. You know, he had lost memory for, I don't know, you know, he had lost memory of the fight and everything, right? So for Devin to give Carl Moretti and Lomachenko the opportunity for the undisputed title, right? Something that he didn't have to do because he could have went up and fought at 140, but he still made the sacrifice and stood on business, right? For us to come back then when the clown didn't have no opportunity, nobody wanted to fight him, right? He had complained about Boots and had complained about everybody. Where was he going to have an opportunity to be on this stage right here if Devin didn't give him the opportunity? I don't know if he's ungrateful, he's just slow, or he's just capping, but you should have took longer when you had the mic, dummy. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm going to wrap this up with alhamdulillah, and it's a great opportunity. Thank you for everybody on this stage for giving us the opportunity to grace it with you.
So I want to say, thank you, Bill, for that bullshit ass speech. So check this out right here. So hold on, check this out right here. You got a man in Bill Haney who literally just said to me, who was gonna fight my son? Not to mention this fight with Devin Haney was made 7 days after my son just made the knockout of the year. Less than 7 days. So what the hell do you mean who was gonna fight my son? You never gave an opportunity. You don't know what the hell we had on the table. You have no clue who was gonna fight my son. Don't tell me nobody was looking for him. He had just fought. Devin hadn't fought since May. You just made the statement and said you went to Turki Al-Sheikh and said if you back up Devin, this is gonna be the best. He was the most bullshit fighter on the card. He was the worst one, literally. He was literally the worst fighter on the card. Can we admit that? Hell no, we can't
listen,
admit
let me
that.
ask you this. Let me ask you
I let
this.
you
though.
talk. I
Hey,
let
sir,
you talk.
Sir, let me ask you. Is your son the best fighter at 147 pounds? Is he the most dangerous and feared fighter at 147 pounds, sir?
Absolutely, but we already know that. We was talking about that. Let's keep it right. Let's keep it right. We was talking about that. See, listen. Here's the problem. Wait, let me tell you the problem. What happens? So what you did was you brought a bunch of goopy hoes, all your fellas that you paid to bring. You brought a bunch of goopy hoes, and now what they doing is they fucking the whole press conference up for you and me.
I don't
That's
know,
what they
but
doing.
listen,
we trying to get active. They trying to do
Turkey,
all
if
they
you
little,
listen,
they
if
trying
you
to get some money from me. That's what they trying to do.
Put something on the table for me and him to wrestle on this motherfucking stage, then just let it be known and we can get to it. Other than that, let's get to having a great night in boxing.
The last time social media heard, Bill Haney said, "I'm gonna make my pro debut against
Well, let's see right now.
on the undercard."
Come on, let's see right now.
Well, let's go then. What we gonna do? What the hell we gonna do? Look at it. He high. He high. He high. He high. He high. He high. Man, come on, bro. What we talking about?
All right, who wants to hear from their sons? Anybody here want to hear from the guys actually fighting on Saturday night?
Hey, hold on.
You supposed to be fighting me.
Listen.
You supposed to be fighting me, Bill.
Okay.
You supposed to be fighting me. When we gonna fight?
Okay, listen. Right now, if you want to. But listen, let me just say
You
this.
said it was on site, Negro. I done seen you 5 times.
Okay. Shout out to the professionalism in this guy to come out when he did. This is amazing town. We've been here since November the 1st, right? And what we have is what we call when you get acclimated in Saudi, we got that bounce. You dig? Now tell him, let's see that bounce over there. Stiff as boards over there, you dig? November 22nd, my son gonna punish you.
All right, let's hear now from Devin Haney. Devin, for the first time in your career, I believe you are the underdog in this matchup. Do you feel everything you've accomplished in your career that you should be the favorite?
Not anymore. I think it was an update in the odds.
No, sir, he's still the underdog. He's still the underdog. Check again.
No, alhamdulillah, I'm happy that
He's still underdog.
To be here. I thank Allah for this opportunity. I thank His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh for giving me this opportunity to be fighting here in Riyadh. This is a dream come true of mine. A dream come true of mine to be fighting for another world title. And this is not my first rodeo, so it won't be anything different. I look to bring back the WBO title back home to me and my family, my team, and yeah.
All right, Brian, Devin has fought and beaten 7 world champions. To my knowledge, you haven't fought a single champion in your career yet. What do you say to those who believe you're not ready to deal with someone of his caliber?
First thing first, this is a wonderful fight card, and gotta thank everybody that made this fight happen. That's Turkey Al-Sheikh, His Excellency, Ring, my Bob father, Bob Aram, Top Rank. I appreciate y'all for making this fight happen, and I truly feel like either you got it or you don't. Of course, he has fought, he has did wonderful things in his time period and what he had going on, but it's time for another face to come up here and do his own thing, and that's where that boy Brian Noma Jr. step in at.
Well, you said in Devin's last fight against Jose Ramirez that he ran so much he had to change shoes because they ran out of grip. That said, he won basically every round of that fight. How do you plan to force him into exchanges with you when other fighters haven't been able to seem to do that?
I mean, it's only so far you can go. We in the box. It's not like he could just run forever, so no matter if he run or he stay there, no matter what, the boy going to sleep.
And Devin, what's your strategy for Brian? He says there's no way that you're going to stand in the pocket and exchange with him. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we fight everybody, different. Like I said, this is not my first rodeo. I fought Ramirez different than I fought Loma. I fought Loma different than I fought Regis. So the world got to see, what game plan me and my team has drawn up and how I'm going to beat this guy.
Well, in a recent face-to-face interview, you said he was just another guy. He's a bum. Why do you feel that way about him?
No, I think he's a great fighter.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, Devin, what's your prediction for Saturday?
Devin Haney, WBO champion.
Groupie hoes.
Brian.
Groupie hoes.
Brian, how confident are you that you can get a decision win against Devin, or do you think you just have to knock him out to win?
I could go in by any means necessary. If I want to go to the cards, I could do that. If I want to knock him out, I'm definitely going to do that anyway, as is. It's me stepping my name in the game.
So what will happen Saturday? How do you win?
The boy going to sleep, dog.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys. That will be the co-main event. Can't wait to see that. Now we turn our attention to the main event. David Benavidez facing off against Anthony Yarde. Frank Warren, the founder of Queensberry, representing Anthony here today. You've been with him for a long time. He's been in some fantastic battles, but just hasn't been able to quite get the brass ring. Why do you think he does it here in Riyadh?
First of all, again, what a fantastic card this is. When you look at this main event and the next three world title fights, they feature all undefeated fighters fighting each other. So Anthony's been with us from day one with Tundi and him. He'd had 12 amateur fights. When you look at where he's come from, just having 12 amateur fights to where he is today, they're 2 world title fights, and give a really good account of himself. And I thought he was definitely going to win one of them. And he's learnt on the way. This is big moment in his career. He's in with David, who we respect. He's 30-0, but he's in with a fighter who I promise you will give him the toughest fight he's ever had. Nancy believes in himself as we believe in him, and I genuinely feel it could be an upset on Saturday night.
All right, let's speak to the trainer now for Anthony Yarde. Tundi, Bill Haney's had some nice things to say about you. You're in charge of making the game plan. No one's been able to topple the Mexican monster. What's the strategy to get the job done?
First and foremost, by whatever name you call him, let me just say God is the greatest. It's been a long journey. Myself and Anthony literally walking into the gym, the Peacock gym in East London, starry-eyed, wanted to be something special in the sport. And I have to say, I'd be remiss if I didn't give credit to the man sitting to my right, Mr. Frank Warren, because when I first came into this sport, I said to him, I got it. And he said, let me tell you something, dreams come true. And I never forget those words. That's what's pushed me as a trainer, as a manager, as a mentor, as someone who's helped guide Anthony all the way. And then I have to say the words to Bill. Me and Bill was in the Sprinter. We met in London, 2012. I trained Devin in the gym every day. Went back to Las Vegas, Hit Factory. Me, Bill, I remember we was driving over to 50 Cent's gym and we looked at each other and we was like, how did these guys do it? It's like, we're going to get there. And so for us to all be up here, myself, Anthony, Devin, Bill, in the biggest night in boxing, probably the best card Turkey Al-Sheikh and Sella and Riyadh have ever put on, is truly amazing. And that's why I say God is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Jesus Christ, whatever faith, religion, he is the greatest. He makes dreams come true. In terms of the fight, well, we don't want to do too much talking. You know, we've always maintained that violence moves in silence. And we ain't going to change our energy for no one. We're not going to badmouth anybody. We're not going to talk bad about. We respect David, Jose Sr. You know, we've exchanged pleasantries, and we just know both boys have a job to do. All I can say is get your popcorn, get your tea, get your biscuits. This is going to be one hell of a fight. I'm predicting a blockbuster, a fight for the ages. Yes, no game plan, no giving out no strategies. Just tune into the DAZN pay-per-view and get ready for a great fight. And again, thank you, Bill Haney. Believed in me, gave me all the jewels that I need to be here sitting with him and Dev. And me and Anthony, we're going to turn up on Saturday night.
All right, Tundi, thank you. There are 3 father trainers here on the dais. We've heard from 2 of them. Now let's hear from Jose Benavidez Sr. I'm sure you're not as vocal as they are, but here's your chance to big up your son. What do you think of what he's been able to do so far in his career, and what do you expect to see from him Saturday?
Primeramente le quiero dar las gracias a toda esta gente bonita aquí de Saudi por recibirnos con los brazos abiertos y con mucho amor. Quiero agradecerle a Turkey Al-Sheikh, a Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, a David García por hacer todo esto posible. Y aquí nomás quiero darle un mensaje a toda la gente que David viene preparado, a toda mi gente mexicana. Entrenamos muy fuerte, venimos preparados para darles una guerra el 22, no se la pierdan este sábado. que van a tener una noche de boxeo muy bonita. Tenemos una cartelera espectacular. Yo creo que la cartelera mejor de todo este año. Y pues aquí estamos representando a México. Arriba la bandera. Gracias.
Anything you want to say in English?
Oh, okay.
Go for
Well,
it.
first of all, I want to thank everybody here from Saudi. Thank you so much for all the love and support. We're super happy, super excited to be here. I want to thank Turkey Al-Sheikh, Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas, David Garcia for making this happening. All I can say is that David prepared himself very well for this fight, mentally, physically. It's ready to go. You guys are here to see a fight this Saturday, a war. It's going to be an action-packed. And I can say that this card, the whole card is stacked with great fighters. It's going to be a great night of boxing. And I just want to say we're here to represent Mexico. Arriba México, arriba la bandera. Un saludo para toda mi gente latina. Gracias.
All right, now let's hear from the WBC and WBA champion of the world, David Benavidez. David, in your opinion, from what you've seen from Anthony, where does he rank amongst your toughest opponents?
First of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank Turkey Al-Sheikh. I want to thank Al Heyman, Luis de Cubas Jr., for making this fight possible. I've had my eye on Anthony Yarde for a long, long time. I know he's a great fighter. He has a lot of heart. He has a lot of power. And the thing I like about Anthony Yarde, that no matter who he's up against, he's in there to make it a great fight. Me, I like to make every fight I'm in a war. I like to give the people the fights they want to see, and I want to give them the action-packed fights they want to see. So I've trained, I had a great training camp. I've trained extremely hard, and this fight is going to live up to the moment. Anthony Yarde, he's trying to capture world title. I'm trying to capture all the titles and unify all the titles in the light heavyweight division. So there's a lot at stake here. I'm very excited for this fight. This has been the hardest I've trained out of any of my fights, so I'm very, very excited. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give you guys a war, and you guys, the fans of boxing are really the ones who are going to win on the night of Saturday, because from the top to the bottom, you have myself and Anthony Yarde, you got Brian Norman and Devin Haney, Bam Bam Rodriguez, and Abdullah Mason. This card is stacked. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a great night of boxing for everybody that's watching.
Well, you heard his trainer say it's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be a war. Is that the kind of fight you're expecting, or do you think you're going to be able to dominate him?
I'm looking to dominate, but whatever happens, I'm ready for whatever. If it's going to turn into a war, then I'm going to turn it into a war. But I'm definitely going to dominate.
All right. Well, you heard him, Anthony. You're the challenger, and you recently said that you're going to hit David harder than he's ever been hit before, and that you're going to put him to sleep. Why are you so confident you're going to do that on Saturday?
Did I say that?
You did say that. We've got it on tape somewhere.
Now, first of all, I want to thank God. I want to thank everyone in attendance. Big man here, Frank Warren, been with him from the beginning. Payne Tunde, the rest of my team, and His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. He picked me personally for this fight. And of course, Benavidez team giving me this opportunity. We're here again. And I feel like this is the best version of me. I've always said I didn't want an easy route, because there's people that go and win vacant titles and nothing against them kind of people. But I've always said I want to beat someone like David Benavidez. That's why I went to Russia to challenge Kovalev. I know the risk. I know the lose. The undefeated, 18-0. This is me before. I was 18-0. Big prospect. Don't go to Russia. Everyone's telling me, do not go to Russia to fight Kovalev. I said, I'm going. And then you get better BF. Everyone's saying this guy's a monster, another monster. Don't fight this guy. He's got 18 fights, 18 wins, 18 knockouts. I said, give me him. I'll fight him. I don't care who it is, because the better the fight I'm fighting, for me, it's better the reward. It's legacy. I started boxing very late. As Frank said, I had 12 amateur fights. And we've made it to the stage 3 times. And you've seen me get better each time. But this occasion, feels right. So I want everyone to tune in. I want to thank everyone on the... I don't even like to call it an undercard, because I feel like every fight on this card is like a main event. I'm a fan of everybody on the show as well. So let's make it happen. Let's put on an excellent night of boxing and make this one for the history books.
Well, you're calling him a monster. He is the Mexican monster. You've seen all the monster movies. Every monster has a weakness. What would you say are his biggest vulnerabilities?
I'm not a person that goes out and just talks for the sake of it. I would only know once I'm in the ring with him. You know, everyone can watch TV and say, he does this wrong, he does this good, he does this bad. But you only know, me personally, I'm only going to know what he's about when I'm stood in front of him in the ring, the bell goes, and we start, you know, trading level.
Indeed. Well, David, you've been asked and you've spoken openly about who you might want to fight next. Benavidez, maybe Zurdo Ramirez. He finds that a little bit disrespectful. Any chance that you might be overlooking him on Saturday?
No, definitely not. I've never overlooked anybody. That's why I'm in the position where I'm at now. I've given Anthony all the respect he deserves. And, you know, I've studied him for a long, long time. And I'm trained. This has been the hardest I've trained at any fight, you know, so I'm extremely ready for this fight. I'm extremely ready for whatever he brings to the table. And, you know, there only will be one man that gets his hand raised, and that man will be David Benavidez.
Well, you're main eventing the biggest fight card of the year, the biggest stage of boxing here in Riyadh. You're making a ton of money. How much pressure are you feeling, not just to look good, but to knock him out?
There's no pressure. Honestly, I love what I do, and I'm extremely ready for this moment. I just want to get out there. I want it to be Saturday already so we can go out there and show out, but there's no pressure at all.
And Anthony, you mentioned your great fights against Beterbiev, against Kovalev. You came up just short in those fights. Why do you think the third time at a world title will be the charm?
I keep hearing this saying, you know, 3 times a charm or 3rd time lucky. I don't really believe in luck, but I feel like I'm a better fighter now, a bit more experience. And David believes he's going to have his hand raised as he should. I believe the same. I feel like this is my time, my moment. I feel like how this all happened. As I said, Turkey called me himself because he wanted me for this fight. Clearly, he wanted entertainment. There was other fighters' names in the hat or other people that they were negotiating with. He called me personally and said he thinks this fight, the way we fight, the styles, it's inevitable it's going to be a clash of the titans. You know, both fighters like going forward, both fighters like looking for the knockout, whether it comes or not. And it's pure entertainment. So I'm excited for it. I hope everyone else is excited for it. And yeah, I'm ready.
All right, what's your official prediction? What will your fans, what can they expect to see Saturday night?
All I know is it's going to be very, very exciting. I'm not a person that goes out and just, you know, starts ringing off predictions or rounds or anything like that. But I do think, stylistically, I think this fight's going to end in a knockout. And I said I want my hand raised. So I respect him highly. I respect his resume. I respect what he's done in the ring. I respect his highlight reels. And all these things, they motivate me. Same thing with Beterbiev. The better the fighter in front of me, the better version of me you'll see. So I'm excited.
Well, David, you're not ever shy of making a prediction. He says someone's getting knocked out. What say you?
Well, I'm going in to win the fight, whether I get the knockout or I get the decision. But I'm definitely I'm looking to dominate in there. So I'm going to get the victory no matter what.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it happens Saturday night. Give it up for our co-main event and our main event. We'll see you live on DAZN. But right now, let's have the fighters face off here in Riyadh.